everybody. This is a seventh lecture, lecture 7, December 24. This is a Christmas Eve. Nobody is Christian here, probably. I don't know. But anyway, December, this is the last lecture in the year end. We are close to finish the end. We are close to finish year of 2020. So our life was full of COVID-19 issue. However, we should focus on studying to grow your capital to not to fall into the poverty. Yeah. Okay. So last time, do you remember what we studied? So Mostafa-san and Moenru-san, these people discuss nicely about how colonization might have affected poor or rich in a contemporary society. 皆さん覚えてますか？前回の授業では植民地化されたか否か、何百年前にそういった昔の出来事がいかにですね、現代の、どのくらい貧困であるか、どのくらいお金を持っているか、どのくらい経済的に成功しているかを、現代の人々の運命をも大いに変えているということをお話ししました。で、実際にそれはですね、ある一定以上受け入れられた説です。しかし、現代で生まれた我々はですね、今の我々の過去の運命をひたすら嘆いても何も始まらない。Do you agree?
Yes.
We cannot change the history. Also, we need to understand why we are poor or why some people are poor, maybe due to their history, whether it get colonized or not. We cannot change the history.
So this is what we explained, this uncontrollable factor.
ではですね、まとめましょうか。まずですね、poor or rich、これをですね、分ける一つのアンコントローラボファクターには、actually many magic, this pen seem not to be really functioning actually.
So we need to reduce the number.
実際にはこのアンコントローラボファクターとして以前にコロナイズされたかどうかということがですね、非常に重要な要素としてありますということをお話ししました。でもですね、これアンコントローラブルということはどういうことかというとですね、もはやアンチェンジャブルです。はい。つまりですね、We cannot select family where we are born.
That's right.
In the same way, we cannot choose the country, choose the society where we are born. やってる？
Yeah, of course. So these are the things that we have no control, but this has a very big impact, whether we are poor or rich. So we cannot control. That's why the term uncontrollable factor comes.
訳すとですね、要は我々がですね、どの親に生まれるかを選べないように、どの国、どのソサイアティに所属し生まれたいかというのは実は選べないわけですね、生まれてくる前に我々は。それと同じでですね、実際にその国を選べないということはどういうことかというと、コロナイズされたかされてないかという基準において、どの国で生まれたかった、どの社会で生まれたかったかとも選べないわけで、この世の中でよくあるのは、やっぱり貧しい、世界的に貧しい国に生まれてしまえば、国境とあれですね、ビザ、要は国籍、 シティズンシップがある限りですね、どこの国に生まれたかによってもほとんどの貧しいか貧しくないかが決定するわけです。
That's right.
So, destiny of your life, I don't know how many percentage going to be occupied by which country you belong to.
Yeah, so it is hard to say the number, but I think this is one of the very important factor in that way.
だよね。
Yes, and so maybe most of them know if there is a ranking of the passport of the world,
うん。
and actually the Japan's passport is the number one.
本当。
Yes,
What is the second?
Singapore.
I see.
Yeah, and US, Canada is like 11, 12, like those ranking.
前の授業でも話しましたが、まあ日本がどれだけ恵まれた国かを表す一つの指標としては、日本のパスポートを持っていればどのくらいビザなしで、まあ詐称なしですね。まあビザっていう海外に渡航するにはビザというその権利をこう認可が下りていないといけないわけですが、相手国から日本人であるというだけでビザを取得せず、まあ関税も国境も素通りできるわけです。はい、日本人です。私は危ない人ではありませんよ。それがですね、今ワールドランキングでモイヌルさんが言うにはですね、日本がナンバーワン。It's quite amazing ですね。で、セカンドシンガポール。
シンガポール。
はい。シンガポール皆さん行かれたことあるかと思うんですが、非常にベリークリーン。
Yes.
オーガナイズ。No?
Yeah. So by watching the Changi airport.
Have you ever been to Singapore?
Yeah, many times actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of this is the hub, one of the biggest hub in this.
No. You went to the what? Singapore. What's the capital name? Huh?
Singapore City.
Singapore City?
Yeah.
Singapore's capital is Singapore City?
Singapore City, yeah.
I have been there maybe 2 to 3 times for academic conference, and it was quite organized and very beautiful as well. The price level, 物価がとても高い。
Yes.
Price level is very
Very
high.
high.
One piece of とんかつ cost like 5,000. とんかつ1個こういうのなんか日本料理店で食うと5,000円だった記憶があります。5,000円。But anyway, what I want to say here is whether you are poor or rich, one of the most important uncontrollable factor or unchangeable factor is which country you are born plus that country had been colonized or not by some country. これは unchangeable. Then we cannot really say much about this more than that. In a sense that because this is unchangeable, nothing we can do for it. Then here we are going to talk about controllable factor. So from now we are going to talk about controllable factor of poverty trap. Okay? We are talk about controllable factor in poverty. And please recall Please recall, in old time, every society is agrarian. Okay? So question is, please remember, we have studied hunter-gatherer, agrarian, industrial, and post-industrial. We are now in a post-industrial society. However, do you remember the concept of poor and rich emerged when our society became agrarian? And agrarian society to industrial society, how we can make a transition, and how we make a transition through escaping from poverty. Okay, that's the first question. And agrarian society, what was the basic issue was self-production initial time and self-consumption. Okay, probably we have what explained one time already agrarian society.
That's right.
And I don't know if you can, like in Bangladesh, is there any people who still do self-production and self-consumption? You have bit explained, but one more time, please explain.
Okay, so yeah, some very remote areas, so where the transportation and modern facilities or the development didn't occur. So there are still some tribe who live in the area. So say for example, there is a world largest mangrove forest, name is the Sundarban, and this is also one treasure for the UNESCO. So over there, so people actually cannot have any kind of access with the modern society. It's kind of a forest, so people need to survive over there. So the people who live, so self-production and self-consumption. Every day, whatever they produce, they consume together in a group. For example, their main source of income or like their main stable food is the fish and the honey, and probably some plants they get in the forest. So they are not going to sell in the market or somewhere. So whatever they get in the whole day, they just consume the things in a similar day. So we can consider that kind of society as a self-consumption, self-production.
All right, very good. And here, self-production and self-consumption people exist among farmers as well. And those farmers who are considered to still rely on self-consumption and self-production and self-consumption is subsistence farmer と呼びます。皆さん、日本にもすごい少数でしょうが、ちょっとはいると思いますね。自給自足完璧にしてる人もしかしたら。でもほとんどいないですよね。でも世界に目を向けると、alright, we discuss which area suffer from poverty in a contemporary world.
Right. So mostly the Africa
Right.
and South Asia,
Right.
some part of Southeast Asia.
Right. 皆さん、私も繰り返し言ってる通り、このコロナにとされたかどうかというのが非常に重要なファクターだと、今の現代のリッチかプアかを決める上で。で、それで植民地化された国は今でも大体、プアなところが多いと。で、実際にそうだということもお話ししましたが、実際にそういった国々ではですね、南アジア、東南アジア、そしてアフリカの国ではですね、いまだにサブシステントファーマーと言われていて、サブシステンスファーマーというのは、要は自分たちで作ったものは自分たちで消費するだけ、こういったような暮らしをしているファーマーたちがまだまだこの世の中にはたくさんいます。これがですね、本当のパバティの原因の始まりです。もともと人類は ほとんどの人がこの We initially started as a subsistence farmer ですね。
And still, so if we see the sub-Saharan Africa,
Sub-Saharan.
most of the farmers are subsistence farmer.
Mm.
So whatever they produce, they consume for their ability. That's why poverty still exists here in this present format.
はい。ではですね、まずこのパバティについてコントローラボファクターから始まる何かを言いたいわけですが、ところでじゃあどうやったらパバティから逃れられるのという問いですが、実はパバティから逃れられない場合があるんです。それが俗に言うですね、パバティトラップ。Some situation in which we cannot escape from poverty. 皆さん、例えばですね、ご自身で考えてみましょう。自分の生まれた国、自分の生まれた環境、自分の生まれた家族がむちゃむちゃ貧しかった時に、その貧しい状況から逃れることって簡単だろうかという問いを投げかけてみてください。OK? For instance, 皆さんは、You are now educated in university. So coming to university itself could be considered nice things.
Yeah, of course. So we will describe maybe somewhere about the human capital.
Right.
Yeah.
Then question here is さあ皆さんここからですね物語が始まります。レッドペン or blue pen is fine. じゃあ皆さん想像してみましょう。このサブシステントファーマーたちがどういう状況が考えられるかといったら、まず望ましい状況としては、Alright, which situation is desirable? This situation, left hand side, self-production is larger than self-consumption, or self-consumption is larger than self-production. Which situation is desirable? どちらの方が望ましいですかね？
Yeah. That's a very important question, and I think the story of the poverty basically sleep here. So if we can clearly understand this part, then gradually we can understand how the poverty.
まず皆さんですね、自分がサブシステントファーマーだったことだと想定しましょう。でサブシステントファーマーは自分たちで作ったもの、作物は自分たちで食うのがメインの目的です。でその時にですね、セルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションラージャーのシチュエーションがいいのか、それともセルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションよりも少ない方がいいのかって言ったらどちらですかって聞かれたら、どっち Which is desirable?
This one.
Right.
My production should be higher than my consumption.
ではですね、皆さん、これはもう皆さんお分かりですね。そもそものパバティというのは人類の歴史から見るとお金がないことがパバティの始まりじゃないんです。What is the initial trigger of poverty is not the shortage of the money. Shortage of food なんです。例えば今でもベトナムの田舎とか中国の田舎、もしくはサブサハラ、As far as I know, there are many people who cannot have enough food for 2 months to 3 months if their crop are destroyed. 皆さん 2,3 ヶ月自分たちでですね、食うものがなかなかないような状況とか想像できますかってことなんですが、実際にですね、パバティの始まりというのはこういう状況です。セルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションを上回らない。これ始まるとどういうことになるかというとですね、はい、いろんな悲劇を引き起こします。 saving. What does it mean by saving? In this case, saving of food, for instance. Okay? But not only saving. Sometimes they may need to borrow something from others because they cannot consume what they want. So only way, if they don't have food, only way is
Borrowing from other people.
something. はい。でですね、皆さん、ここからさ、お分かりになるのはですね、if you study macroeconomics, if you cannot save, これ、セービングがネガティブということは、これ、つまりボロをするということです。はい。貸しを作るということです。Alright, all the time, I don't know how much you know. When Japanese farmer, many of them are subsistent farmer in the Edo period, they may need to sell the children to others. This is the initiation. But I don't know, in Bangladesh, still some people may sell the family member.
Yeah, at least there are some people who sell their family members in a way. If they are very poor, then they sell to some people who let them beg on the street to earn. So that's how they get some money back.
I see.
So that
今思い出しました。まあ、皆さん今私がね英語で言ったことは何かっていうと江戸時代とか、まあ、室町時代とか、まあ、ほとんどの昔の人々がこのサブシステムファーマーだった時にはどういうことが起こったかっていうとこのセルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションを上回れない状況でずっと他人からお米を借りたりなんか食べ物を借りたり、まあ、その土地の地主から借りたりし続けてもできないぐらいになると何が行われるかっていうと家族をメンバーを売るもしくはもっと sometimes dump 奪捨て皆さん奪捨て山って言葉知ってますかねまあいろいろな言葉あるんですけど自分の家族を捨てたりっていうこともやらざるを得ないで今モイネル君が言ったのは、バングラディッシュでは場合によっては
So they sell the small kids to the brokers for begging on the street, and then people give them like a 1 yen or 2 yen, and then they capitalize those things, and then they send it back to their parents. That is the worst case of the poverty in Bangladesh. So the beggars, they are the bad
はい、
situation.
今、まあ、2回聞きましたわざとモイヌル君に英語で説明してもらいたいのでバングラディッシュにね行くとですねメニーベガーね
Many beggars.
ベ
on
ガー
the
というのは
street.
小じですでしかもその小じというのは普通の小じではなくてプロフェッショナルベガーな
There is most of them are now professional beggars.
まあ、ちょっと日本の古事記とは違うのは向こうの古事記の人々というのは、なんていうんですかねまあプロというかもうそれを職業にしてるようなところがあって古事記であることを武器に本当にお金をこうガッとこうくれって言ってくる例えば私とモイネル君がこうやって歩いてると僕のところにブワーって寄ってくるよね、でモイネル君と私がバングラの街を一緒に歩いてたら本当にこうブワーって寄ってくるからモイネル君ちょっともうぐんなみたいなのやってたよね、
Yeah.
Like you did it to
So we went to some villages for the survey, and some people are then we try to refrain them to come.
Okay, but anyway まあ要はその国の形態は違いでも、こういうような貧乏な状態セルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションを上回らず食うものが足りないような状態で他人から借りるような状況になると例えばバングラの場合はその古事記集団というかそのプロフェッショナルに古事記をオーガナイズしてる人たちがいるわけだよねヤクザみたいなんで
Yeah.
他にもヤクザのマフィア
Yeah,
マフィ
they
ア
are kind of mafia, and they lead this business. But frankly speaking, though they are not that much poor in that way. But if we go to the real beggars who don't have anything, so they are actually the true example of the poor people. So yeah. But anyway, so they are the worst case of the poverty.
Okay. Alright. では皆さんですねほらじゃあまあ こうやってボロ、セービングがネガティブになるということはいろんな意味で家族を犠牲にしたりいろんなことが犠牲になるんですが、ここからどういうことが起こるかというとですね、はい、ここで重要な概念として出てくるのがですね、キャピタル。キャピタルがだだ下がりします。はい、キャピタルとは何だったか。Anything we can store and accumulate that can be useful for any production purpose。実はですね、これ今からパバティトラップという概念を説明するんですが、パバティトラップにですね、一旦はまるとですね、もう基本的には第三者 some external help is necessary to escape from poverty と言われています。パバティトラップだからトラップなんです。罠に一旦バチッと引っかかったら抜けれないですよね。それと同じで、実はなんで今貧困問題でいろんなですね、政府やその他、世界的な組織がですね、パバティというものをなくそうと考えているのかといったら、そこにはこのパバティトラップが存在するからです。It exists poverty trap. If people started having this disastrous situation of self-production and self-consumption, their saving become negative, equivalently saying that they start borrowing something from others. If this is accumulated, they may even need to sell the family members. They may even ask children to be a beggar belonging to some professional group.
Yeah. Sometimes they sell their house or their land where they normally do the agriculture. So even they are so poor that they cannot, they have to sell. So it make it much worse because, so for example, for the farmers in the agrarian society, land is very important. But when this situation happens, so to get rid from this thing, sometimes they even sell their lands.
で、ここではですね、Alright, please think about borrowing and saving is negative. How can you increase the capital? あなたのキャピタルは何ですか？パソコン、脳みそ、anything, knowledge, skill. Think about how can you increase your capital to be more productive when we have no food. You need to borrow the money. No possibility. はい。で、キャピタルが下がったとどうなるかといったらですね、プロダクティビティが下がります。例えばプロダクティビティはアウトプットパーレイバー。When you can have capital, when you have low capital, what's going to happen is productivity decline. What does it mean by productivity is output per labor です。アウトプットパワーレーバーとはどういうことかというと、1時間あたり働いてどのくらいアウトプットを出せるかという概念ですが、賢いファーマーと賢くないファーマー who study something for agricultural production which going to be more productive and capital, okay? Suppose you borrow something, because of the borrowing, they may need to sell the land. If they sell the land, land is considered to be a capital, means capital decline. Then productivity
Also
decline.
decline.
はい。そうなると、プロダクティビティが下がると、これがどうなるかって言ったら、Do you think gap between self-production and self-consumption become larger or smaller through the productivity decline?
This gap will increase gradually.
はい、ここでですね、この数学的なこの、はい、この差がよりでかくなってしまう。How bad it is? 皆さんお分かりですか？これ It is known as a poverty trap which get triggered by when self-production once it becomes lower than self-consumption. Once it started, it cycles like this. Continuously. ぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐる。In the end, what's gonna happen? You're going to be very poor up until your capital is almost zero. How poor it is. So, this is poverty trap. So in Bangladesh, do you think such type of poverty trap incident occurs?
Yeah, I think so. This is the very typical situation in most of the developing country. For example, I'm from Bangladesh and I see this kind of situation happening. And so it starts, say for example, from the father. So if the father is a farmer and if his self-production is lower than the self-consumption, so father's life starts with the poverty in this circle. So first his savings become negative. He sell his land. Then
Or some other capital that they have.
other capitals for the farmers they sell. So that's how the next year. So they have like a very few resources to do the agriculture. So the productivity also goes down. And in the way, so in the next in the same year, so their self-production become much less than the previous year. And in these consequences, so they are getting poor. Their next generation, their kids. So say this is one farmer situation, and if he has 3 or 4 or 5 kids, so they are also going to enter in this poverty trap. So this poverty trap is not only there like in one dimension. It may, but I think this is too much for this lecture. But it makes a whole family, and gradually probably the whole village, and more extensively the whole nation as a poor nation. So the things are like getting like expanded in a way.
Alright. So please imagine this is worst case scenario of human being starting from subsistence farmer. However, what is it? What happened here? We said there exists poor and rich in this world. ですね。で、アンコントローラボーファクターとしてコロナイズドはノットが挙げられましたが、実はここばっかりを嘆いててももはや遅いわけです。なぜならばこれはアンコントローラブルだしアンチェンジャブルだからです。これから変えられることというのはどういうことかというと、パバティがパバティとして残る主な原因はここにあるんですが、How we cut this vicious cycle? We will say this is vicious cycle. はい。Vicious spelling is correct. Vicious. I think maybe could you start?
I think it's correct.
It seems to be correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
インストラクションその3の。あれ、まあ、ラジャーラジャー。Ask him to modify. T2.
Yeah, it's perfect.
ビシャスサイクル。
Yeah, vicious cycle.
はい。このビシャスサイクル、皆さんビシャスってことは覚えてほしいんですけども、ビシャスということをですね、このビシャス、悪魔のようなサイクルというふうに言います。 ガーッと回り続けてどんどん悪くなる、これをどうやって打ち切れるかということになります。はい、これはですね、okay? So, Moino, can you explain a bit about something?
Some practical example maybe I can.
How we can support them externally.
Externally.
うん。
Yeah, that's right.
じゃあ皆さんここでですね。じゃあセカンド。Let me erase everything first. ラジオ論理的。ではこれ。はい、ここでですね、very simple question です。わかりました。If somebody fall into this poverty trap vicious cycle, how we can cut off? And when how few people who once fall into poverty trap can escape from poverty trap? That's a question. And to escape from poverty trap, what can we do? Okay? Of course, simplest answer is somehow capital should be increased. This is very simple question actually. However, is it easy? Okay, 皆さん。What is your capital? And is it easy to increase your capital in a quick way like that? Do you think you can increase your capital very quickly?
No way.
No way.
No way.
Is it time consuming?
It's time consuming, and it also needs like many other factors related with this one. So I think this is one of the most important questions for solve the poverty.
Right. And actually, what I want to say here is increase in the capital to be productive to have opposite inequality. もしキャピタルが十分高まってプロダクティビティが高まるとどういうことが起こるかっていうとセルフプロダクションがセルフコンサンプションを上回り出すんです。ところがこれ not easy at all。これが実は答えなんです。じゃあ皆さん Please think about how it is difficult。 皆さん実は大学に来てること自体もキャピタルを蓄積するうちの一つだというふうに考えられますが、実はこれ非常に時間のかかることですし、そんなたやすいことである。じゃあどういうふうにできるかって言ったら、まあ、よく言われるのが一旦パバティトラップに入っちゃった人を救うのは一つの方法しかない。実はそれはある程度のエクスターナルサポートを与えるべきだ。Okay, Moino, is it okay for you to introduce some example of external support to cut off
this.
To escape from the poverty.
Okay, so let me introduce some practical example that become very successful in the developing country to provide the people this kind of external support, and that is actually become one of the most innovative idea.
Please write down whenever you have a chance.
Okay.
Student may not be able to capture what
Right,
you
right.
speak very easy.
Yeah. So what kind of external support we can provide to them? So in the modern society, so if we have a shortage of the capital, then normally where we go? So we normally go to the bank, right? So bank is considered as one of the main source of the capital when people have the difficulties to have enough resource for their business, for their agriculture, or for any other activities. So from the bank, so we can get some kind of loan. So bank provide the loan to the people, and people can invest this money in a way so then their productivity become higher and their self production become higher than the self consumption. But how about the traditional bank, like say that the commercial bank? So what is commercial bank? Like Mitsubishi, UFG, or like so there are lots of banks in Japan. So
But they never give the loan to the poor
yeah,
people.
so that's the thing that I was going to introduce. So this commercial bank give loan to whom? Who already have resources, who already have the capital. Maybe they have their big house, or they already have like some capital. So by watching that they have this capital, so this commercial bank provide them this kind of loan. So this commercial bank's loan is directly related with the capital. If we don't have the capital, this bank will never give us any kind of loan. But the people who are already in this vicious cycle, so they are already very poor.
Or they don't have capital either.
They don't have any capital, so this formula doesn't work. They will not get any loan from this bank. So they cannot invest and they cannot come up from this vicious cycle. So then some social scientist, so he start thinking about how to help these people who are in the poor enough in the rural settings, like in the rural Bangladesh or rural Africa. So who can help them to come to get out from this kind of poverty trap? Then he think, okay, so why don't we consider a design that is completely opposite to this bank? So
Opposite?
completely opposite to this
Okay.
bank. Yeah,
Okay.
I will explain in which context
Okay.
these things are.
今モイネルさんはですね、ノーベル平和賞を取ったですねパバティを救うためのですね銀行についてのお話をします。
Today I want to introduce slightly about the concept
Not slightly. You can explain
Explain.
extensively
Okay.
if you can.
as much as
So
I
this
can.
is totally different from commercial bank. Yeah?
Yes, the concept is totally different from the commercial bank. So this commercial bank always run for whom? They always want to catch the rich people. So we want to find some rich people, I will give them the loan and they will invest for like the millionaires or billionaires. So they run for the rich people. Then Dr. Yunus think we will run for the poor people. Opposite. The concept is opposite. Another thing, these commercial banks customer, more than 70% are the male customer mostly. He think that okay, we will not go for the male, we will just target female. They think that okay, so we will give the loan to the people who already have the capital. They consider we will give the loan to the people who have no capital. So say this commercial bank is writing like this on his legs. So this Grameen Bank's concept is like a stand by head. So that's how Professor Yunus explained in his discussion as well in the TED talk. So he said that our strategy is very different to the people. And then people said that, oh, are you crazy? So if you give them the money to these people, they were very poor, they will just consume everything.
Without increasing the productivity.
Yeah, without increasing the productivity, and all the money will be gone, and you will be a bankrupt. So why you are thinking about in this crazy way? Then Professor Yunus think that okay, so maybe that is a valid question. So this may happen. So then what should we do? Okay, so why don't we give them some very small loan? They say that micro credit. So I think they should
Please write.
Right. Yeah.
Concept should be written.
Yeah.
So how much Japanese yen that can be considered microcredit?
Microcredit.
Yeah.
So it's like a
How much is it? Japanese yen term?
like $25.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's a very small amount. So 25
皆さん、ここでですね、私が日本語でちょっと説明しますね。日本にはですね、もうコマーシャルバンクしか存在しないんですが、確かね、グラミンバンクっていうのは、日本にも今支店があったんじゃなかったかな。
in more than 100 countries in the world.
Probably Japan branch exists,
Yeah.
I think.
In USA they have the branch. And
Yes,
almost in
yeah.
every African country they have the branch.
でこのコマーシャルバンクとグラミンバンクというのはもうそもそも考えて考慮に入れているカスタマーたちの視野が違うわけですね。それはどう違うかというと、コマーシャルバンクというのは基本的にコマーシャルですから商業的ですからいかにしっかり返済能力のある人間にお金を貸して稼ぐかというのが勝負なわけです。で担保にキャピタルを取るわけです。例えばあなたにお金を貸しますよ、その代わりお金が返せなくなったら担保としてあなたの土地を担保として押さえときますからねと言って、返せなくなったら土地を取り上げるとかね。Is that right?
Yes.
However, Grameen Bank that Dr. Yunus, he's a PhD in economist.
Yes.
まあユヌスさんという方はですね、グラミンバンクというのを、提案して、それはどういうことかというと、マイクロクレジットという非常にマイクロというのは非常にちっちゃいという意味ですが、クレジットというのはまあローン貸しですね、お金を貸すという意味ですが、信頼によってお金を貸すということなんですが、これカスタマーをですね、すごい貧乏なパバティトラップに苦しんでいるような女性に焦点を当てて、ほら、just we should